I was like, wait, it's a countdown.
I was like, oh, just be still. Don't say nothing. Just, you. I hope we are live. And if you can see this, please comment below. I believe we are here. Hopefully.
Yeah, we're live. I can
Okay.
see it. I'm resharing it.
Also, oh, we are live. Look, I found us. Yay.
Mm.
So I am Shakita Lewis, and I am a Reiki Master Healer, and I have been doing Reiki for the past 2 years. If you have been on my Facebook lives or posts or been inquiring about Reiki, today is a special day because I have one of my favorite clients with me, Jheanell. She's a famous astrologer and an infamous as well. You know, she's kind of like a big deal out here in these streets.
Oh my gosh.
This is the face behind the infamous I made 6 figures in a quarter after the spiritual boot camp that we went through last fall.
Yes.
So, Jheanell, would you love to tell the people who you are today? And then we'll get started on speaking about our time together in the energy work and the sisterhood and bonding that we've been able to experience the past couple of years.
Okay. So hi everyone. I am Jheanell, and I am a psychic astrologer and frequency healer, and I help high performing folks to basically understand exactly why they were put on this earth, what their soul is here to accomplish both personally and professionally, and I provide them with the roadmap on how to get there. That way they can attract and grow into their most authentic, abundant, and affluent life. So that's what I do. I make magic.
Just a little razzle dazzle.
A little razzle dazzle to folks' lives, you know.
And if you follow Jheanell, you will see that she's been pretty transparent about her journey, certain challenges. She's always encouraging people. Like, where were you like 3 years ago? Like, you were not doing things to this magnitude.
So 3 years ago, I was still kind of like stepping in and out of the spiritual closet. At the time, I think I had started telling people that I was doing readings, but I was still nervous about like what people actually cared about thought. So it was like, am I gonna, because I used to go to church like 6 days a week. I was always there. I lived there. So it was like doing something like this. There was still a part of me, although I had, done my research and felt like, okay, like I'm not a bad person if I come out of the spiritual closet in this way and do astrology stuff. But there was still a little part of me in the back of my mind that was like, this is not so great. You're upsetting, your family, you're this, you're that. So I was basically like 1 foot in, 1 foot out, not making money consistently because of that, of course. And just really growing into who I am today, just, being more confident about who I am and what I'm here to offer, and getting a little peek of how much I could help other people, but, still just not all the way out there.
Yeah. And I think that's amazing because from what I've been able to experience with Jheanell and just even watching her this year alone, like sis been traveling, been loving on family members, doing surprise bar mitzvahs, and if that's what I look like anyway. Like, you've been living your best life, and to see, even to understand your journey from 3 years ago, and then what we're going to really touch on today was the past, you know what I'm saying, year to date, pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
So me and Jheanell first was introduced to each other through the internet streets. I don't know, we just came together. I think she was making products, I was making products, and I definitely knew nothing about the spiritual streets. It was just like oh, what do you do? And she did the readings, and
Mm-hmm.
she developed this program called the North Node program.
Mm-hmm.
I personally was going through a whole traumatic time. And I was like, I don't know what the hell is going on, but I need in on this North Node, whatever this is, because sis don't know who the hell she is after being in a cult, being married, and it's four humans that live with me that claim me as a mom. So I
Yeah.
had no clue who I was, and I decided to be a part of her program. And from there, she was just so nurturing, and she told me like weird stuff, like I was a healer or whatever, according to my birth chart.
Wild.
I was like, whoa, yeah, she probably should have like kept it to herself, but it was so cool because like for her to take like your birth chart and tell you who you are and you to acknowledge things about yourself, it was so scary and frightening. But over time I integrated into some of the things that she showed me about myself. That's what I loved about it. It wasn't her personal opinion, you know, sis ain't know me like that, you know, whatever, but according to my chart and the friendship that we built over time, I was like, okay, she might be right. I don't like it, but I'll lean into it a little bit, right?
I know a little something. Yeah.
I mean, she might be, I mean, for everybody else, but for me, it was like, hold on, you can relax. Needless to say, last around this time last year, I decided to actually um, trust myself. I decided to offer Reiki and do it consistently. Now, mind you, the North Node program was in 2019. So here it is in mid pandemic 2020. I'm like, okay, I'm going to try something different because I hadn't had access to products and stuff. So I couldn't hide behind them. And that was one of the things I learned while working with Jheanell was like, she would tell me, sis, stop hiding behind your products. Like the body butters might be cool, people, you know, you do help them not be ashy or whatever, but like you got to help people not be ashy spiritually. And I was
Right.
just,
Oh Lord. And that was such a fight. Y'all, I just need y'all to understand this was a fight. But I'm so proud of you. I'm so proud of you.
I am grateful because it definitely laid the framework, especially with me trying to spend time with my kids and not be
Mm-hmm.
go out and do vending events like usual. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Well, needless to say, I started doing the Reiki. Oh, the other point was the women that I built bonds with in the initial North Node program. I think this was like her second round. They were the ones who actually helped me hone in on the virtual healing. So in Reiki, it's a thing called distance healing, which you can send and do Reiki for people virtually. Now, all these women lived in different states. And so as soon as I said, okay, I might listen to Jheanell for about 30 minutes and offer it. Everybody was like, I'll be your first client. Send me a voice. And so they like supported me so much, not even knowing that this would be a staple program for me in the future. So I'm super grateful for the community that you built during the North Node, the way that you nurture and love people with your gifts, because I just feel like if you hadn't took the on yourself, it literally has been a foundation for me to take a chance on myself, you know? So,
Yeah.
you know, without the years, you know, niggas be meaning a lot to people, and I just want to say,
Oh my God. But no, I do remember, I just have to put this out there. The first time I saw your chart, I was like, what is she doing again? Because when I looked at it, I saw how powerful of a healer you were. And I was like, I don't think she's doing this. Like, you know, and that's how I was like, sis makes body butters, okay. You know, like I think that's awesome and you do a great job. But I just kept being like there's more. And I saw that healer and I'm just, you know, I understood why there was like a little bit of like resistance to it. But again, like I just have to say I'm super proud of you for going on this journey and like really doing this now because this is what I saw back then, but this is still like, you haven't even really like scratched the surface of like what you can truly do yet. So I'm just really excited to, continue being a part of your journey and seeing you grow. And I'm excited for everybody else to see it as well. So I'm going to tell y'all everything, y'all. You're going to be like, this is what she can do.
Oh my God, you sound like Famira earlier. She was like, no, you have to experience it to be able to understand.
I'm just waiting for you to ask me the right questions so I can say what I need to say. I'm trying to pace myself, but I'm going to tell everybody everything, y'all.
My tears are here. Too early in the game. We just started, right? So, yes, she's gonna snitch, and I'm semi-prepared. So the timeline, we worked together, and a part of my journey in working with people, I would get like local celebrities in Chicago, like Rhyme Fest. He was one of my first clients when I worked downtown Chicago. Like, he was riding a bike down the street, and I was like, "Oh, you Rhyme Fest?" He was like, "Oh," I was like, "Oh, I do Reiki or whatever." He was like, "I'm gonna come in to get the service." I was just like, weird, but okay, here we are. And if you don't know, he's a Grammy Award winner, and he's like best friends with Kanye West. So whole time I'm like, if he could slide 3 body butters to Kim, I might be in it. But obviously they both need Reiki. So
come on, somebody.
I was doing it wrong. However, that's what I've been like, And mind you, Ryan Fest today, he's married, he's traveling the world. And even though he had one session with me, it's like I could see the difference like instantly. Like, this is, I was on his Instagram the other day. He's like walking with like a lion and a lioness. I was like, whoa, this is a little dramatic for me, but bro is out there living his best life. It's a lot of powerhouses in Chicago also who I've been able to service, hence the name, the celebrity Reiki master. But I was just saying something because it was cute, not knowing it was going to manifest like in real life. However, being in the spiritual internet streets, Jheanell has always been an ideal client for me. Like, I don't think she knows, but I was like, man, if sis would let me, service her, like, I don't know, it would just be different. It would be like a real big full circle moment for me, because what I realized was that the more powerful people are in their own fields, they get really exclusive about their energy. Like, you don't see them getting a lot of readings from people, or you don't see them like entrusting people with their spirituality, because it is very sacred. So when spirituality, you would be like, give me a reading. Like Jheanell, no, she was doing readings and I would get addicted to them. I'd be like, read me, sis, like again today, especially when I was having baby daddy problems. Girl, I was like, I need to know, okay, how do I escape the foolery? Because it was a bunch of foolishness happening. And during that period, because she was so nurturing, and then just be like, girl, shut the hell up, and change your locks on your house. I was like, oh, she's so sweet. She's so nice. Of course, I trust her. But like I said, she was someone that I definitely wanted to return the favor. If I'm great at this and I've been able to cultivate this, especially through experiencing her program, I would love to pour back into her the way that she poured into me. And lo and behold, sis was like, I'm gonna get me some Reiki. And I was like, what?
Yeah. See, I didn't know that you like had me as an ideal person. And it's interesting because I remember like seeing you finally like step out there, and I was like, Father God, thank you, Jesus. Like, my God, she really should have done this a while ago.
You don't have to pray like
it's okay, Lord. But that is like very true about me. I'm not the person where like if you see people doing like readings, unless like I know you, unless like maybe it's like a person who's gone through my program, I might hop in and be like, hey, me. I'll take a card, but I'm not going to be like everywhere, like trying to get readings from everybody and all that kind of stuff, or to even really go deep if it's like a Facebook Live, it's like, here's your card, going about your business, that's fine. But in terms of like going like really deep and helping me to work through things, I don't trust a lot of people. And I remember when you started doing this, I felt called to it because I trusted you, obviously having you gone through my program, and because I knew you so well astrologically, and again, just through the relationship that we developed during our time together, and then also being able to see in black and white how powerful you are. I was like, this feels good. I feel like this could work. And, the main reason for that was last year it was my like biggest year to date in business, but I felt like this year was going to be huge. And so I was like, I needed to like slow down to speed up, basically. A lot of times when people accomplish a lot, they're like, okay, I got to do more. And I was like, no, I actually need to step back for a second, and I need to prepare for what's coming in 2021, because I know it's nothing like what I've experienced yet. And part of that preparation is energy work. It's not just like, these are the strategies and this is what you do. A lot of it is internal. And you are the only person that was offering anything like what I felt like I needed. And it was like right on time, because I was like clocked out for the year. I was like, I'm done. I hit my 6 figures. I did it. Mission accomplished. I'm finished. I need to just like prepare for next year. And yeah, you came right on time, and Jesus Christ.
Yeah, about that. So one, congratulations on hitting an amazing milestone on the 6 figures last year. Mm-hmm. During a whole ass panorama. Because we are like, if you're an entrepreneur and you're in business, you already know, like, people have been promoting 6 figure this, 6 figure. It was almost like a girl gang of like 6 figure chicks, like bashing everybody who's not like, you broke, like we're all broke. It's a panorama. So I don't know how we like bridge that gap realistically, but like, yes, it's money out there for everyone. But like Jheanell said, which I think is super, super important. I was sharing with a sister earlier, you have the education, you have the certificates, you have everything, you have the roadmaps, front and back, on what to do, how to do it. The logic is there, but the reality usually ends up being a whole disconnect. Getting in tune with your emotions, getting in tune about being excited to really manifest, a disconnect from your pleasures and what makes you happy prevents you from making a logical a reality. And so, even though I know that now, that's not how I scammed Jheanell. So, at this time, I had became certified as a postpartum doula and a fertility doula. And so these certifications actually helped me with my Reiki, because I can understand women on a whole nother level, emotionally, old traumas that sit there, because most of the things that we do is literally like a birthing phase. You got the fertility, you got the whole long ass pregnancy. So it's the end of the pregnancy. You like, get this goddamn thing out of me, but I'm gonna love it afterwards. But right now, not so much. And then you got the postpartum phase where you have to recover, recoup, and integrate as this new being, no matter what it is that you birth, whether you birth a new relationship, a new business, an actual baby, or whatever is dear to you. Like, the birthing process is usually something that is of you that you want to share with the world, but that you guard so closely, right? So boom, Jheanell get a Reiki session, right? All I remember is one of her chakras, it was like, sis want to be a millionaire. I remember that quite vividly, because at this time I've done enough Reiki to understand that, okay, people have a lot of things in front of them. But after she made that 6 figures, it felt like in our session that her body was like, oh, You done opened the door. Like, she was in the fertility phase. So it was important for her to slow down to plant the seeds that she needed so that when they grow, she can have a bomb ass harvest time. And by the end of this discussion, y'all gonna see sis had a bomb ass harvest time, okay? However, when we decided to work together, part of Jheanell's story is her closeness to her daughter and the birthing experiences that she's had as a mom. And so as a postpartum doula, I was like, okay, let's work together 3 months and we're going to heal your birthing story. Because one thing I don't talk about often is the fact that no matter what you've birthed, especially if you birth someone physically, it's never too late to have a postpartum phase. An actual postpartum phase is the first 60 to 90 days after the actual birth. But for us, especially as Black women, because we experience so much trauma in the hospitals and not being heard or being supported through that phase, our postpartum lives with us until we actually acknowledge it and heal from it. And so what that means for us is that it stores in our bodies. It can calcify different energies like fibroids and cysts and different pains or painful cycles. And when you get to learning to, not learning, but being educated that you can still have that healing process, you'll release it energetically and physically, and then you begin to live a whole completely different life. So keeping in mind, we're healing a birthing story that is, that allowed me to, one, she trusted me. Two, this is already a level of vulnerability. Three, we're sharing a space where I, as a practitioner, have to listen carefully and nurture her. And so we began for 3 months, every week for 2 hours, we would look at each other like Puff Daddy and that guy on The Voice and stare and look at each other. Because mind you, my experience with Jheanell birthed a whole different modality that I didn't even know existed.
I just want y'all to know, I thought, again, like I came into this for one thing, and that was, but it's funny I even say that because I know this, like working with clients, a lot of times what we think our issue is really just it's a symptom of what a deeper root issue is, right? So I was like, okay, as Shakita mentioned, I have a very deep connection to my daughter who has, passed on physically, but unfortunately her birthing experience resulted in me just being very scared of giving birth. So although I've had 2 more children since, and they're, healthy and they're here, I just have a lot of trauma around birth, and I knew I was holding on to it in my body, and I just wanted it to go. This is all I came for, okay? And
Sidebar. In her Reiki session, so it's called the sacral chakra, right? This is what houses all your sexual organs, your womb. That's the other thing I remember. Not only did she want to be a millionaire, but right before the millionaire was like revealed, she had like barbed wire. Like I remember being there, I was like, whoa, like she don't want nobody near this particular area. And that's the reason why it was a priority to say, okay, let's work on this, because I couldn't unlock the pain that she was feeling right off the rip. It was like, ma'am, I know you. I'm about to send the National Guard to shoot this plane down that's hovering over my right now.
Because again, I don't trust a lot of people. Like I'm very friendly, and I have certain areas of my life that I'm transparent about. But like, if you know me in like real life, like know me, I don't actually share that much. Like I know how to like do my job without giving everything. So it's like, although like you knew that story, it's like you didn't know the story until you got in there, and it was like, get out of here, demon. And like all of the other things that have happened as a result of that. But yes, we were 3 months every week.
Every single week.
Except Christmas. She gave me Christmas off.
Get a little rest.
And Thanksgiving. She gave me
Yeah, love your family. Get back on the horse.
I was like, oh, thank you, Jesus. So is it to enjoy some, time away. A bit
Yeah,
more.
that
No,
put,
but it was good.
put a lot of things into perspective, right? Because again, our intentions were in alignment, but the universe had a whole nother thing prepared.
Mm-hmm.
Part of me, I've never been able to express. I mean, yeah, she loved the holidays. Open your gifts in peace, right? And then we'll cry later. But it was the work that me and Jheanell did together was super intense. To the point now where, as I tell people, this is not a game. This is irreversible, and it's ugly as hell. It's painful. It's like, I mean, I don't even know if some people even get to experience this range of emotions with someone that they married for the past 50 years. Like, to that degree. This is why, I love her. I love her for trusting me. I love her because I know her. I've seen many versions of her because
Literally.
different personalities.
Different personalities.
And they have voices. Yes.
And names.
Yes. And they have to be nurtured because, okay, so how do we even begin what happened when our first session deciding we was going to start this 3-month program? Because day one was already like, what the hell is this?
Day one. Okay, let's start with day one. Day one is when I felt scammed. So as I mentioned to y'all, I came because I have experienced, this trauma, and it's trickled down into different parts of my life. And I was like, okay, I would like some work moving this energy. Like, as powerful as I am, like, I can't perform surgery on myself, right? Like, even like a healer needs a healer, right? So I was like, okay, we're going to do this. It's going to be great. So we have session 1, and session 1 made me a little scared of Shakita, because Shakita would look at me and she would just blurt out things that I literally had not told anyone ever. I'm talking about, I've been with my husband half my life now, literally. And these were things he didn't even know. I had to have whole conversations with him a couple weeks later, because I'm like, I can't have Shakita knowing things that you don't know.
I don't love her more than you. I promise.
There's some weird shit going on, and I just need you to know these things. Okay. But it's she would just look, I remember screaming out, Shakita, stop looking at me. Because she would just be like, and what about this? And and I'm like, oh no. I was like, this is not what I signed up for. You're supposed to just, this birthing situation, this is what I can't, why are we talking about this? Why are you bringing up old stuff?
The follow-up to that was the following week. I would never forget. You see how the light is bright?
The second week.
Do you see how her hair is laid, right? Just let me pick. Her glass is like, sis is done up. Sis is done up. You looking amazing right now. The second session we had, y'all, the lights were dim. She had a hoodie on. She had her hair pent up. I swear to God, she probably had some Vaseline under her eyes. She had gym shoes and sweatpants. And I promise you, I looked at her and I said, we can't have this session until you go change your clothes, because you're not about to be bad on this camera. She looked like she was in the Bronx or wherever she's from, in Brooklyn or New York. She was ready to fight, bitch, if you don't tell me to rub some essential oil on my damn womb and leave me the hell alone.
You know what it was? I didn't even realize that until you mentioned it to me. Like that was an unconscious thing of me protecting myself. Because again, I don't open up about certain things. And you were saying things to me that again, I've been keeping to myself since, some stuff since 8, whatever. And so I think just unconsciously, it was just like, oh no, we got to go back in our shell. Like she knows too much. Like we can't tell her nothing else.
Oh
So
man.
it was like, I literally, I did show up like super New York. Like she was like, did you do your journal prompts? I was like, yeah. So this is how I felt about this. And this is that. And that's it, right? We done?
No.
And she was like, I'm going to need you to go change your clothes. I was like sitting in the dark on my bed. Like my energy literally said, like that we're done. You know too much. You've gone too far. We're not really doing this. I did what I needed to do, and we're finished here. And that was session 2.
Yeah.
Session 1 wore me out. I was like, oh no.
Yes. So going back to session 1, most of my clients are hard body women who are high achievers, but thugs on the inside. So they don't do emotions. They don't have a place for these sad emotions. They don't give a damn about these sad emotions. It's like a break in case of emergency. Like you just put it on the wall because you feel safe, but you don't actually go over there to like embrace or do this. From session 1, our time together ended up being timeline healing. And like she said, things from when she was 8, it was almost like, if we gonna do this, we gonna clear all this shit out. We not just gonna clear out what's on the surface or what's the loudest. We gonna start from the beginning. And I asked her questions that were personal. And she was just like, I think I sent you a questionnaire before. And you was like, what the hell is this? Like off the rip.
Yeah, I was like, I just don't feel like this is what I came for. But okay.
No, so it would almost be like an alert, like scam likely. And that's what she called me for a while. I'm not offended, we got the job done. But the healing literally ended up being a timeline, almost like we went to her earliest memory of trauma and acknowledged it, and we transmuted that energy to catapult her into who she is today. Meaning, like, going back to your original energy, we even did a pleasure senses activity that I love. I really love that activity because I think week 2, we did the pleasure senses. And that was a stretch too. Like, what do you love? What about what is your favorite sense of smell? And so when she painted the picture of everything that made her happy, we were really able to tap into her earliest safe space. So we went straight in. Week 1, your earliest trauma. Week 2, it was like your safe place. So where does your mind go to feel safe? And once she started embracing and remembering the time, like for her, she's Jamaican. She's from Jamaica, right? She has a beautiful vision of this land. And because we went back to her pleasures, we now know, like, for a fact, if she wants to manifest whatever, she needs to go to Jamaica and be on the beach with her family doing a certain activity that's going to stimulate her so much. It's almost like the ultimate recharge. You know what I'm saying? And the other pleasures were able to complement her. Like, okay, maybe, going to Jamaica every month is a little dramatic unless you're living there, but this is what can sustain you and what you need to be happy to maintain all these levels of success. So I was really happy. I love the pleasure senses activity. How did you feel about getting in touch with your emotions and pleasures?
I actually love that. That was I was gonna say. That's the only part I liked.
Out of 12 weeks, I got her one good week. It was like the rest.
I was like, this is fun. And for anyone who's had any kind of session with Shakita, she like rips you your whole life apart, rearranges things, and you're like, oh my God. And it's like life changing, but you're so raw. And then she'll send you this email like, well, it was so nice working with you today. It's just like, girl, get off my line. I don't want to speak to you anymore. So it was really like 3 months of that. Like, yes, like there were definitely some weeks where it wasn't, it wasn't too bad. And I think like as we went on, like, and I started realizing, oh no, like we're gonna be like really doing some work here. It helped me. I think in the beginning I was just like a little caught off guard. I wasn't prepared to take all the masks off all of my personalities. But like as time went on, it got it got a little like easier to deal with. But I mean, it was life changing. I really did, like, I cried a lot, but they were like healing tears. Every week it felt like I was shedding a new layer, like just more weight was coming off energetically week by week by week by week. Even if I didn't feel it in the moment, by the time I would journal and, do my activities, my homework or whatever, or if like certain situations would happen and I would react differently to it, then I'll be like, oh, like there's some stuff happening here. Because that's the thing about like healing work. It's not like, it doesn't always feel tangible. Like, and I think that's why people are scared to invest in healing stuff. Because it's like, well, what do I get? And it's just like, your life changes, but you don't realize it until certain things happen. And I know for me, when I tell you I got the ultimate test, I wish I could tell y'all about it.
Oh man.
But okay, how can I? Okay, so literally, like, there was a person in my life who is attached. A lot of my trauma was attached to this person. And I felt like every week this person kept coming up. And I'm like, this is not what this is about, Shakita. Don't you understand? We're here for the baby. The baby.
We'll wait another 15 years.
And this person, they would just keep coming up. I have not seen this person since I was a teenager. But just again, like just so much of my trauma had to do with that person. Mm-hmm. And literally it was towards the end because it was January. And I think we started like November. Yeah, because you gave me Thanksgiving and Christmas off. Thanks again. And then like January in our 3rd month, as we're wrapping up, this person literally reached out to me and was making plans by themselves, basically,
for sure,
to see me. And the way how I handled that situation, had I not gone through this deep uprooting and, the mask being pulled off and the rose-colored glasses being pulled off and the, Shakita going in there with the shovel and, pulling up the roots, I would have handled that situation completely different. And I would have sent my life into like a whole tailspin. I would have went back to square one had I not had the tools that I had, the support that I had, because I was definitely in her inbox like, Shakita, guess what's happening right now, real time. I need you to know what's going on. So even having her support, but then just the shifts that happened energetically, I was just so like unbothered about the whole situation. And I made a lot of jokes about it. And, I was just, that person was very surprised. Like they're not used to me having certain kinds of boundaries or reacting to them certain kinds of ways. Mm-hmm. I was like, man, I just paid this lady millions of dollars and I've been talking to her for weeks. I'm not about to undo what I just did. Are you kidding me?
Oh my God.
Yeah. So I really have to thank you for that, Shakita, because like now knowing that story, that could have went completely different had I not had you. or, you know, and also been in that container at the time.
But I'm grateful that you're showing, like, just because you do the healing and you uncover all these things and you take all this energy and you build yourself up, because ultimately you had to be in a place of least resistance to even listen to anything that was coming up. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
You didn't have to receive or move forward to do anything. That's the thing about healing too. I'm just the doula for you to support you through the transitions, because the reality is that we are laughing about it now when shit funny when we was doing this. Like, sis showed up with a hoodie and like a whole spiritual team of ancestors to beat my ass. Like, who the fuck do we need to roll up on? Cause not my, spirit guides and everybody like, oh, she got you what? But it was painful. It was a lot of painful moments. It was a lot of anger. There was remembering times and being resentful. Like, it was a lot of people you had to remember that had you all the way fucked up. And we had to be like, girl, it did. Like, it was a cheerleading, almost like one of those movies where it's like, okay, I take your hand and we go look back at this movie or this scene that happened to you. And I'm telling you, like, girl, they got you fucked up. And you like, and they do. And we not going to do that. And then we go back. So moving back and forth through these realms and not knowing where your emotions live or what time period that they live in. Like, a lot of Jheanell's emotions were stored in adolescence, like in the 1990s and the 90s and the 2000s, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
When life is really hitting you and you don't know that you have the energy or the gifts or the mind to know that you can feel this without being productive. Like, there's not a lot of people, expressing that you can feel things and still move forward. For
Mm-hmm.
us, don't feel shit and move forward, because if we feel it, then we don't know what's to happen, because we don't know really how to manage those emotions. As a practitioner and developing a relationship with Jheanell, and to see how these stories, subconscious stories at that, these aren't things that she just willingly told me. These were subconscious stories that would come into the forefront. And to see my friend experience it again in this realm was like, okay, don't take this personal. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But she's feeling, if she's angry about somebody, that doesn't mean she's angry with me. I'm here to help her. Being reminded of that and understanding that everybody isn't capable of having the capacity for the emotions that you might have. But if you start the process, because even though we addressed it there, it was like, okay, go to therapy. Um, Couples therapy, because if you're sharing this with your spouse, they usually want to take the burden from you. So you have to share that in a safe way so that they don't feel burdened by those same emotions. That I'm like, okay, let's keep this at bay. This still my friend. She
Mm-hmm.
gonna show up next week. You know what I'm saying? Or when you're experiencing those heavy emotions, because if they've been stored so much, by the time you release them, it's just ugly cry everywhere. You got to be like, I'm gonna be patient,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm gonna, allow you to release in whatever way you feel necessary. But you still need to journal. I still got to hold you accountable. You still got to move forward. So even then, it's like the PG version of our time together.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to. Shakita knows a lot. I'm gonna have to get rid of her at some point. Okay.
Make some money, and we can talk about that. But it is personal. So now that we know, to a degree, the pain, the stories, the acknowledging, even like the relationships. Can you tell us, like, briefly how our time together changed your relationships, the way you perceive relationships, your personal relationships, and even your marriage and your children?
Yeah, I definitely like my marriage shifted. You know, not that I had like a bad marriage, but I didn't realize how not acknowledging a lot of traumas, how it was um preventing us from being as close as we could be, you know? And it's interesting. Again, I mentioned I've been with my husband like half my life at this point, and he said to me, "I feel like I know you now." And I was like,
Oh.
you know, because again, I'm very like, I'm open, but not really, you know? So it's like, even with him, having spent so much time with him for so many years, he said he always felt like there was a part of me that he never really got to. And he never knew like why or like what was behind that door. But it's like, he just always felt like there was something there. But again, I'm like, well, damn, Shakita keeps, you know, telling me my business, you know? So it was like, it helped me to have a conversation with him that was very like, I mean, like, like, you know, ugly crying, and like he had to be very patient with me, like as I was going through like, you know, this story, and then it's like, okay, like I said that one, and but there's another one. And then there's like, and there's another story, you know what I'm saying? So just even me saying things out loud for the first time, that was a lot. And, you know, and then for him, it was a lot because, you know, of course, like nobody wants to hear about, you know, how their spouse might have been hurt physically or emotionally or, you know, any kind of way. So when we started having these conversations as things were coming up, it just, I mean, we're, you know, closer than ever at this point, and it's really done a lot for us in a really positive way. And I don't know, like we're just at like this new level of connection that I didn't even think we could be at. Because again, it's like, you know, I've always felt super close to him. But yeah, he said he feels like he knows me now, which is absolutely huge for him to say.
I love that so much.
Yeah.
It's it's amazing to see just relationships and getting to know yourself, or just letting things go so that you can have the room,
Mm-hmm.
because especially if family is a big part of you. And the most interesting thing is when I work with people, especially high achieving women like you, is that the money is there. Like, that's not the question. It is mainly about what things need to be swept out in order for you
Mm-hmm.
faster, because you have all the tools that you need, literally. And sometimes getting to the money faster isn't about strategy, but
Yeah.
being more intimately in your marriage, or putting up specific boundaries with your family so that you can have the mental to execute the plan that you know that you have. So I'm team y'all, because y'all be too cute speaking whatever y'all be speaking, because I don't ever understand Kenny when he's talking. I'd be needing one of those bouncy balls.
Oh my God.
Oh, look at Kenny. I have no clue what he's saying. He looks so happy.
He looks happy. Don't know what he's saying, but
Oh man, that accent. How long he been in the States? That's neither here or there.
but yeah, that's definitely changed. And I speaking of boundaries, I have, oh my God, way bigger boundaries. It's and I was sharing this with Famira earlier. I used to have an issue with like not having great boundaries because I never wanted people to think I was mean. I always wanted people to like know that I was a nice person and a good person. But I realized even doing that was a trauma response to, you know, things that have happened. And so this year, like, you might text me and not hear from me for days. Like, if I just don't have the mental capacity or I just don't want to, I have no problem now just like showing up when I know that I can like fully participate. I don't want to be like just pulling and pulling and pulling anymore. So it's like if I'm in conversation with someone, it's because I'm in overflow and I can give them, you know, what I have extra from me. I'm not pulling from a place of like, I'm tired, but let me hear what they got to say. Or I don't have XYZ, but they don't have anybody else. They need me. This year I've been like, I'm checked out.
Man, and been handing things off. So
Yeah.
I'm just to recap, if you just joining us, I am Shakita Lewis. This is Jheanell Adams, the astrologist extraordinaire, master of the North Nodes.
Yeah.
And we are sharing our time together because me and Jheanell worked together for 3 months. And to bring things to a close as far as the healing aspect. So Jheanell knew she needed something different. I was able to support her. We supported each other over time, but when we worked together and I was able to assist in a way that she needed, it turned into this whole different thing. She had an accomplishment. She already had an amazing marriage and beautiful children, and she just made 6 figures in her business. But now, come 2021, sis is done with the program. She done crying. She done been tested and created boundaries. And now it's go time. Because one of the things that happened when me and Jheanell was together was as we got closer to the end of our time together, it was the beginning of her time to start really getting into her flow. So it was a conflict, whereas it was like, okay, I'm feeling these emotions, but time's up because I got shit to do. And so when it was
I was
time for
like, bye, Shakita. No, I'm kidding.
she's like, I can't live in these feelings and these emotions. Like, how do we close this off or, put a pause in it and pick up maybe later? Because again, we did like timeline healing. So for Jheanell, we went from damn near her earliest memory in adolescence to maybe college when she started to be all these amazing esthetician, and she was a designer, a fashion designer. Like, she wore so many hats. And so, God willing, we get some more time together, we can explore those different dynamics, because even though she's accumulated so much in all areas of her life, there's still more to her. It's still more to her to explore. And I am more than excited to assist you on that path. But talking about the current path, taking all of that time and all that energy removed, all that sharing, not only sharing with me, sharing with her journal, sharing with herself, sharing with her husband, like all of this just kept clearing out all this energy. And so, boom, 2021 hits. Do you want to give the people an accurate timeline of 2021? You was like all gas, no brakes. You understand me?
Yeah. So, like I mentioned, I felt like 2021 was going to be a very pivotal year. And that's why I wanted to do this kind of work, because I needed to be able to make sure that there was nothing energetically stopping me from what I felt was coming. And I didn't want anything energetically having me like fumble the ball once I got it. So we did all that stuff. I'm crying every week. I get to January. I'm like, okay, girl, 3 months is up. Okay, we're going to continue this later. I got to get to work. Because literally, I barely worked during those 3 months. I really made my healing top priority, period. Like, I don't know if people realize, like, you need to do that sometimes. Sometimes it's not about anybody else. It's about you and making sure that you're good. So we wrapped up in January, and then, which is crazy now that I think about it. How did I have a 6-figure quarter if I didn't even work in January? Anyway, okay, doesn't matter. All right, so I had my first year in 2020, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna do this work. Next year is gonna be nuts. I already know. So let's do this. So I come out of this healing situation with Shakita. I'm like super focused. Everything is, a lot of my stuff is gone. And I end up doing what I did all last year in the first quarter. like super simple. I just breathed and it happened. And then, you know, from there, I've been able to do it in. So that was March, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was March. And then April, I did another 6 figures within a month. So then I had a 6-figure quarter and then a 6-figure month, like right after each other. And March, I was like, oh my God, look what I did. And it was like 30 days later, it was like, oh shit, what? And then like recently I've been able to do 6 figures in a day. So there's definitely been like a lot of growth that has happened. And like, yes, I have, you know, a business coach and all those different things. But if my capacity wasn't open in the way how it is, it would be difficult for me to apply the strategies or even be able to hold this massive vision that I have if I still had all these things like swirling around energetically that's, you know, pulling my energy in all these different directions and, you know, telling me that I can't and blah, 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 blah. So this year, yeah, it really just has been like go time. And I can't even say it's been all gas, no brakes, because I definitely rest. I'm huge on rest. I will go and book a ticket and go on about my business really quick, and just chill out and do nothing. But you know, when you when you don't have a lot holding you down energetically, it's easy to like when it's time to go, then you just go.
And
And then
that's what I
you
mean. Your manifesting was all gas, no brakes.
oh yeah, the
Oh,
manifest.
I'm gonna just do it this way because
Yeah.
we start working together in January and then we pick back up in April.
Mm-hmm.
You had a huge launch and then
Yeah.
you ended that month with 6 figures. I was like, yo, she wow, and like what? And then so the thing is like before a lot of your really big launches, like we usually have sessions going up into those.
Oh yeah, Shakita's my secret weapon, y'all. I'm like, look, Shakita, I don't know what you have going on today, but look, so I have this thing coming up, and I need to talk to you real quick. So
I was like, you might as well just have it on the calendar, like launch day. Let me get my Reiki first, because the last, I don't know, was it August or July? I think we had Reiki that Friday, and then Sunday was like, oh, I made 6 figures today.
yeah.
What the hell are you talking about
Mm-hmm.
today? So from my perspective, it was like, okay, we went through all of that. I'm trying to figure out how to package this amazing thing, and maybe other people might want it, not knowing that sis was doing all this stuff, because even though we had that intense time, she did come back and it was kind of like maintenance. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
just like you see anything, like let's clear this shit out because we still got other things to do. So when we worked together in April, especially because that's her birthday month, I was like, oh, this is sweet. You know, we had maybe 1 or 2 sessions, and then the whole month was a 6-figure month. I was like, damn,
Yeah.
like this is crazy. And so the day that you had the 6-figure day, I was just like, yo, this is some next level stuff. Like, talk about being intentional and being open. And I think the most important part of that I want to mention is that, okay, she have these launches, we have Reiki before. When we have Reiki, it has nothing to do with the damn launch.
No. Never.
That's what I want to highlight, how important healing is. Jheanell's out here making 6 figures like they got it on sale at Walmart. Like, oh, I'm just gonna, I'm gonna pick this out. What aisle is that? You know, just go by the toy section. It should be one tucked. So it's 6 figures tucked behind the toy section. Okay. The great values, like you see the great value side, and it's like just 6 figures sitting there, right? That's how this. That's how she's operating. She's just grabbing the 6 figures, and it's time for Reiki, and it's like, oh yeah, you know, you should do a book with your son or something. Like, what?
It's like the most random thing. But again, I think, like you said, it just speaks to the fact that, like, especially as high achievers, like, we don't really have like business problems or strategy problems. There's is something else that again might manifest that might be causing you to not move as quickly as you want to in business. If business isn't working, the way how you desire it to, that's just a symptom of a greater issue. So for me, as long as I know energetically I'm good, and just, I don't even know what we were talking about in these sessions, honestly. But it's just like, I just end up feeling so light. So whatever needs to go just goes when she does whatever she's doing over there, this alleged Reiki. And then I just go do my part, you know? Because that's the other part, is I do what I need to do, right? Like, I don't just have, you know, Shakita do her part and then I go and I'm just like, well, I'm just going to go lay down. You know, I'm going to show up for myself so that I can meet the goals that I have. But when you combine the spiritual stuff with the strategy, it's
Man.
I mean, it's everything.
Yeah, and I'm so, you know, I'm so proud of you, like
I'm
beyond.
proud of you too.
Because you doing the work, like that is the most essential thing. Because I mean, even if you're like coming from a biblical aspect, let's say where two or more gathered, like you can do whatever you want. So if you're showing up open and like, okay, sis, do this because you're being open, I'm here to support whatever your goals is. You can be like, I just want to tie shoestrings forever and make $1 million. Like you will legit, because you believe it. I believe it. I ain't no hater. Tie them goddamn shoestrings and a cute little glitter and bow. It doesn't matter
Oh,
how big or how small it is, you know, even if you're not, even if you're not like quote unquote high achieving and wanting to be like super successful in this way, whatever your desires is will come out and it will be revealing, and it's really you being open to you. And most of my clients can attest, like I am very all about you in our sessions. Like I don't give a damn about nobody. Like I'm like, okay,
Chiquita will be like, do you need me to just banish this person? Like, just tell me, please.
we all know who I would banish. It's like,
Chiquita doesn't care about anybody but you.
This is true. Do you be like, but what about?
But you know what? That's so refreshing though, because like for a lot of us, like just having someone that like supports you like that is so rare, you know? Like you're just like, because you know, again, like especially if they're like a recovering people pleaser or whatever, and you're like, but I can't because this person, that person, and Shakira's like, don't care, don't. Who is that? They don't matter.
Because in the grand scheme, they don't. Like preserving yourself, because ultimately you're living your life to have them have a better life. So whatever that is if it's not a partnership that can complement you right now, it don't exist. So you build up what you want. You build up the way you design it and envision it to look like, and go out and demand that they come and compliment it. Because if you don't, you got to move around. It's really that simple.
Right.
And we be afraid to put the line in the sand. Like, no, I want movie night and I love movies. Like, I'm gonna have it. Whether you gotta kick and scream, you have to be comfortable with like, this is what I desire. And be like, yo, what up, bro? I want movie night. Like, you gotta be gangster about your pleasure. You understand me?
Yes.
And you gotta understand, because you got to protect that, you know, because this is what's sustaining, especially if you're always giving. Like I said in the beginning, Jheanell has been always been nurturing to me, and she's been patient and, you know, and didn't block me when she like, this nigga is weird because, you know, she got baby daddy issues, which was real. You know what I'm saying? I probably would have blocked me like you. And that was a moment being fully transparent, whereas she didn't have the best boundaries. You know what I'm saying? So she like, I kind of like this nigga, but you know, she slid in my inbox too much. She didn't ever be like, okay, let me, you know.
Yeah, so nobody do that in 2021. I will not be answering.
Listen, you
There's
can't
a lot of people on read right now.
you can't her program to email her personally. You gotta email her assistant.
I don't even do my own emails.
So coming from having this in this outlook to now, you've traveled. How many vacations you like? How many? Look, her programs are luxury. She gives out Gucci and Louis Vuitton in her program. Do you understand me? Like she a pure example of a Black woman going from stay at home, who I'm gonna live this opulent, abundant lifestyle. And all y'all, because I love y'all, gonna have to get on the bus and be encouraged to live this lifestyle too. She's not selfish with it. She's super giving and information. She's super transparent about her transformation, which I truly, truly am grateful for, because it has been, because she's been sharing and wanting other people to experience what she has, that I've been able to grow my clientele without really putting in the work. So now I'm in a phase to be a part of North Node and be loved on again, so that I can.
We just keep going back and forth with each other. I mean, it's not really ending. I just feel like
lamb chops. You remember lamb chops? The song that doesn't end.
On and on, my friend.
You gotta remix that.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
that's what it is, a true sisterhood. This is a great example of what it looked like when you trust who you work with. We trust each other, which make it that much more magical. Even this live today wouldn't have been possible if I wasn't a part of her program, because sis really was gonna be like, I got a store and a candle or two, you know, what's up? And she like, no.
I was like, if you don't,
you ain't have to read that hard in front of the people.
I'm sorry. I was like, we're doing a case study next week.
Oh yeah, and put it and ambushed me for other people to do it too. Like, did she tell you? So, you know.
I mean, I just want people to like really get what you do. You know, like, yes, body butter, yes, candles, but you have a gift that can alter the course of people's lives, and that's what's really needed in the world. And I just need people to know that this is what you do and see, you know, the effect that you have on people and how many people, because it's a gang of us that like went through that I don't know what it was called, whatever that was called that you had us doing last year. You know, it's a gang of us that went through that, and we've all up leveled in our own ways based on whatever we needed at the time. You know, so I need people to understand, like, you are extremely powerful. You are beyond gifted. Like, people should be honored that you even speak to them, that you even look at them in the eyes. Like, I don't know if y'all understand who Shakita really is. Like, she'll play like, I have a store and I have soaps. Like, girl, fucking joking. You have healing hands. You look at people and like tell them their whole life story. Like, I'm telling you all, there were so many times that I wished I had the little Men in Black device. I would just, Shakita, just look right here for me, sis. I just look right here. Look into this.
With my good eye, my bad eye.
Just look right here for me. Like, because why do you know this? And again, you know, I understood Shakita's power before she even came out as a healer, because it was all over her chart. And so, again, that's one of the reasons why I decided to work with her. But to be able to like truly witness it in that way, I was like, oh no, like, she is phenomenal. And yes, like, we started off as her, you know, being my client, but, you know, I've worked with her in this way. She comes into my program as a guest, you know, because I don't trust a lot of people with my clients. So she's, you know, come into my program and help my clients in different kinds of ways. Right now, we are each other's clients, you know? So I just really need people to like really grasp the power that is Shakita Lewis, because it is an honor to be in her presence. Okay, like, I can't even put this power into words. I really can't. But it is absolutely life-changing, you all. And I talk about her all the time. Like, don't start crying on here, because, you know, One of my personalities will start crying. One of them. Susie, yes. Susie will start crying because she's the sensitive one. But I really hope that as she does these case studies and you see where we were and where we are now, that you truly grasp that you know, a lot of this was because of the healing that happened with Chiquita. You know, no one is out here doing all of this stuff by themselves. Everyone has a spiritual secret weapon. And as powerful as I am, and I have all the things going on, I need a person. And Chiquita is my person. She cannot get rid of me. Y'all see me terrorize her on Facebook all the time. You know, that is because every day. But it is because, you know, we just have this level of closeness at this point. But it is because, I mean, man, I have never been this vulnerable with anyone, and I've never had anyone help me to move energy the way how Chiquita has. And
oh God,
just like whatever the play is, Chiquita's just like, well, all right, bitch, like let's just, let me just already at it. And I'm just like, yes, I'm just gonna lay down and you do what you gotta do. I don't even know what she's doing. I don't care. All I know is whatever my goals are, Chiquita is my person who energetically helps me to make them happen, no matter how powerful I am. And there's a lot of people out there who are like, well, I know this already and I'm this already. Yeah, that's cool. Sometimes you need a you for you. Yeah. Right? And I'm not easily impressed by a lot of people, you know, but Chiquita is, I mean, she's out of this world. She is out of this world. Like she is like, I mean, I don't want to call you Jesus. Like, I feel like that's blasphemy, but like, I just feel like Jesus would have had you on the team. You know what I'm saying? Like you.
I mean, just don't cuss me out like you did the other disciples, but still,
like I feel like you would have been like the special one, you know. And like even going back to church stuff, like because I feel like all of us was in church at one point, but you know that person in church, it's like just being in their presence shakes you, or they would touch you and it's like you feel the spark, or you know they speak something over you and it just happens. Like that is Chiquita. You know, like she's that powerful. She's like the church mother.
We was talking about earlier with Amir. I said, as you, the new age motherboard.
Yes.
Whereas the altar call look different for this era and this generation because we're the one laying hands and praying and ministering to people, and our energy. We would be the ones if we was in church right now. We had hats. Mm-hmm. You know, and waiting, but it's different for us now because we have more of a voice and we're demanding and showing up in a way that acknowledges the God in us, right?
Right, yeah.
So you can't house what we do, and because of technology, we have to spread. You know what I'm saying? Spread like all of you guys are in different states. Half of you guys, majority of you guys, I have never even met in person.
You got your little tentacles, your little spiritual tentacles going all over the world.
Like that type of bond and connection, and to see how much your life has changed. I have never been able to embrace you or hug you or.
Which is crazy, because in my mind, like we hang out all the time, but like it's weird. We'll figure it out.
Thanksgiving or nothing, you understand me?
You were not coming to Thanksgiving last year, girl. I was so sick of you. I was just happy I got the week off.
I wasn't being invited to nothing last year as you was healing.
Last year, I was like, I can't wait for this shit to be over. Jesus Christ. No, but seriously, for real, like, thank you for holding space for me. And there's not a lot of people that can do that or even know how to do that, because I am a lot, you know? So just being able to, like, I feel like that was the first time in a long time that I felt like I had truly, truly, truly had a safe space. You know, and that's a part of why I wanted to work with you. Like, I felt truly safe. Not so much in the first session because he was just doing too much.
At least you showed up. That's all that matters. You showed up. You might not have liked it, but you were there.
I didn't like it, but you did a damn good job. And that's when I was like, I really sat back like, oh, wait, like this is going to be some way more powerful stuff than you thought, you know? So it was like, it was a good thing, but it was also like,
yeah, but mind you, I had no clue. I've never been able to service someone in that capacity.
Yeah.
Even since, you know, it was new for me. We kind of just showed up and we just laid everything on the table.
Yeah.
It was
and
really
I have to thank you for that. Like I was saying, I really have to thank you for that. There is so much that I let go of that I cannot believe I was carrying on my back for decades and decades. Like, even if I wasn't consciously thinking about it every day, I was carrying it. And I don't know how I did it. So just like, thank you for helping me to release a lot of pain, a lot of people, and just, you know, support me in growing into who I know I am and, you know, who I know I can be. Because wow, I don't know how I don't know how I managed all these years. I really don't. Like, once we really started talking about these things, I really don't know how I did it. But again, like, when you're used to being a strong person, you power through. And that 3 months, it was like, no, like, you can sit down and you can stop carrying all the stuff. We're going to sit down and we're going to put these bags down one by one by one by one. And it didn't always feel good to let those bags go, but I am eternally grateful to you. Like, that was a life-changing 3 months. I tell people about it all the time. And I cried a lot and I was mad at you sometimes, but I love you. And
I love you too.
you know, I don't think this year would have been as easy as it has been if I haven't had you in my corner. Especially right before these like big moments when I'm just like, hey, what you doing?
Mind you, you're the only one that can do that too.
But now I've gotten better, y'all, because I also need to respect her boundaries. So now we schedule things out. But
like you were laying around like
I'd be like, you want to do some Reiki tonight? Got a big lunch in the morning.
Go to Walmart, make this 6 figures real quick.
I need to make 6 hours in these next 3 hours, sis. Got something for me?
All we do is laugh and play. So with that being said, because it's just gonna get goofy after this, we're gonna the accents. This is not. You don't want to be a part of that.
No, it's bad.
Anyone in the comments, and thank you everybody for commenting and sharing. Thank you guys for staying and laughing with us and just, you know what I'm saying, like interacting and listening to her story, because she does have one of the most amazing stories. Like I said, she's one of my favorite clients. I even tried to like get rid of her, like the visual like part of Reiki. She's like, no, I'm gonna be there. I was just like, whoa, okay, let me.
I was like, I'm coming on the call.
Like, everybody has that special child. This one is my special client that just goes and do what she wants. Before I let you go, I do want to ask the people, do they have any questions for you? Do you have any questions for Jheanell, or do you have any questions for me? If you are one, I am opening up Reiki for the last quarter of the year.
Y'all do it, please.
It is absolutely a prerequisite before the program that Jheanell was a part of will be available for the fall and the winter. But you have to had already had Reiki with me before, because then I'm already in tune with your body. I already kind of know what you need. We can recap and move from there. And I know how your energy works. So if you are interested in working with me, whether it is monthly Reiki or the life changing experience that Jheanell had, slide in my inbox. I am doing calls all this week so that we can chat and see how I can best serve you. If not, I am going to let the phenomenal Jheanell go. And
Yes.
yeah,
Do
you
what you
so
all set yourselves up for an amazing 2022. Like, you're not gonna just wing it, are you? Like, my God, you know, you need to be intentional. Be intentional about what you have coming up and take your goals seriously. This was where I was at this time last year. Like, yes, big goal, whoop, whoop, love it, great. But I was thinking about 2021 and I was like, I'm going to finish out this year doing this, slow down a little bit so I could speed up and kill it in 2021. And that's exactly what happened. So if you're on the fence about doing it, I could not recommend it more. And, you know, whatever the investment might be, just know that it's going to impact you for a lifetime. I'd rather pay something one time and know that my life is going to change for the rest of my life. You know what I'm saying? That's priceless to me. So get in there, or, you know, just keep watching the case studies and being like, oh, I wish I could and I would like to. You can. Just
you
get in
just
her inbox.
slide in there, you
Slide
know.
in there, sis. You won't regret it.
I love you so much.
I love you too, girl.
Thank you. And I will see you soon. Everyone else, I will be back with another case study on Friday with another amazing powerhouse. And she's a great time too. All of our clients have amazing personalities and are so just brilliant. So stay tuned on Friday. And again, thank you, Jheanell. And we
Thank
will see
you.
you guys later.
Bye.
Bye.